All right, when we work through 8.4, you're going to find out you already know more because I taught you more when we started in 8.2. So I already talked about slope being rise over run. I've talked to you about slope-intercept form, like this. And I said to you, this is y equals mx plus b. I explained to you that m is slope, so m equals the slope. And if that coefficient m is negative, it's going to be a negative slope and it's going to go down the hill. If m is positive, it's going to be a positive slope and it's going to go up the hill. If it's a zero slope, it's going to be a horizontal line like this. If it's going to be undefined, it's going to be a vertical slope, or a vertical line, sorry, a vertical line like this, okay? So positive is you write your name and it goes up the hill. Negative, you write the name and it goes down the hill. Zero slope is you're just walking on a flat plane. And undefined is it's this nice vertical line, okay? So keep that in mind. When I have a negative slope, it would look something like this, negative 2x plus 3. Positive slope would look something like this, y equals 2x plus 3. Notice slope is positive, slope is negative. If it's a horizontal line, it's just y equals 3. If it's a vertical, it's going to be x equals 3, okay? So here we go. Find the slope of a hill that rises 30 feet for every horizontal change. Remember I said rise over run. 30 over 150 is simplified to be 1/5. That's my slope. 40 feet for every horizontal change. 40 over 100, 2/5. Find the slope of a line. Start at a point, a solid point. It can't be this point. It has to be a point that's dead set in the middle of the cross, okay? So from this point, first of all, notice it's positive. You're going to rise up 1, 2, 3 over 1, which is equal to 3. So you're going to say m is equal to 3 over 1, which is 3. That's your slope. So change in y over the change in x. Another way to do it is to take your points 1 and 4. This is how I would show you to do it. And stack it with 0 and 1. It's the change in y over the change in x, like that. 4 minus 1 is 3, 1 minus 0 is 1. So that's the formalized way if I give you 2 points. If I give you a graph, just go from point to point, rise, run. This is your rise 3 units to your run 1 unit. And I could even find another point like this one right here. And I could go up 3 and over 1. So it makes those stairs. Always from this point, up 3 to the right 1. So that's my rise, run, rise, run, rise, run. Think about going upstairs. You rise your foot up before you run it onto the stairs. So same with this one, I could do one of 2 things. I can stack my points, comma -3, circle your y values so you don't forget that goes on top. It's change in y, so y minus y over x minus x. So 4, 5, 6, 7 over 3. And don't change that to a decimal unless it's a story. And don't change it to a mixed number because it's a ratio. And a ratio is a comparison of 2 like quantities. So 7 over 3, let's see. From this point to this point, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's your rise. And then you have to run 1, 2, 3 blocks over to get to this point. So think of this as being, you're at your house and you're interested in going to your friend's house. You would have to go 7 streets up and 3 streets to the right. That's your slope. And it's a positive slope because it's going up the hill. Okay, so let's think about it. You're starting at this house. First of all, can you notice that it's going down the hill? but you can still rise. So I'm going to go ahead and rise up 2 units right here. So my rise is 2, and my run is going left, which makes it negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that can be simplified to be negative 1 over 3. Or stack your points, circle your y's, do 1 minus 3, change in y over change in x, equals negative 2 over 6 equals negative 1/3. So you have 2 options when finding slope, when finding m. And in your homework, I would want you to say m is equal to negative 1/3. And I don't care what method you use when you're given a graph. You can do both if you want. So first of all, notice it's going down. So know that m is going to be equal to negative. So let's rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gets level. Then we turn down the street to go to our friend's house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So negative 5 over 7. And it doesn't matter what you make negative. You can write it like that, or you can write 5 over negative 7. It doesn't matter. They mean the same thing. I just have a preference that you put the negative in the numerator. That way you won't lose it. I don't personally like it next to the division sign. I think we've talked about that before. Remember what I said about a horizontal line? There is no x. It's just simply y equals negative 3. It's where it crosses the y-axis. Also, this is super, super, super important. If all I give you is the points, then you need to remember the 0 will be in the numerator, because when you divide 0 divided by 5, you get 0. And I told you that this is a 0 slope, okay? So when you subtract, you get 0 in the numerator. Don't forget that. Again, y is equal to 3. Because if you did it, 0 would be in the numerator, because I have 5 over 4, ordered pair 4, 3, ordered pair negative 1, 3, change in y over change in x, which would be 0 over 5, which equals 0. 0 in the numerator makes a 0 slope. Vertical lines, remember, are x equals. Now, vertical lines have zeros in the denominator. So this one will be undefined. The slope is undefined. Well, that is spelling that wrong. Undefined. Okay, so if I do this problem, 3 minus negative 2 over 2 minus 2, you can clearly see that 0 is in the denominator, so it's undefined. Or think of it as under, almost saying the word under. 0 is under the 5. And if it is, then this is an undefined slope. All vertical lines are undefined. See? Vertical line, undefined, 0 in the denominator. Which one is steeper? We'll take them and compare them. The first route is 4 rises for every 30-mile stretch. The second one is 8 for every 70. And then all you're going to do is cross multiply. Remember how I taught you how to compare 2 fractions? This is just 2 fractions, 2 ratios. And then you can clearly see that 4/30 is greater, and 4/30 was the first route is steeper than the second route. They're going to go through every single one of these for you and figure them out, which is not what you need to do. Same thing with this one. So it's 3 over 40 and 5, vertically 5 for every 30. So this one you have 200, and 30 times 3 is 90. Clearly you can see that it's the second trail is steeper. And that's it for 8.4.